Oroco just had a press release, literally 30 minutes ago, and Craig, thank you very much for doing this on such a short notice. But I wanted to do this short interview because Oroco just filed for shelf prospectus, and when I saw this and I read through this, I'm like, there's going to be some people saying, "Oh my God, we're going to get diluted. 75 million in a press release. The world is ending. We're done. We're finished." So that's why I need to talk to you about this so that we can somehow avoid a little bit of this. So what's going on? What is this shelf prospectus?
I totally understand. It's a simple strategy. The use of the amount of 75 million. It needs to be understood that a shelf prospectus is essentially a primary filing from which the company can then utilize that base prospectus, as it's described, as a foundational document for subsequent financings. It is not a matter of one financing or 10 financings. It can be any number of incremental financings. So it doesn't obligate the company to undertake a financing using that document at any point in time throughout the 25-month period that the document is effective. It's simply a placeholder type document, which if the company intends to do a financing associated with that prospectus at some point along that 25-month timeline, then it would also then have to provide a supplemental prospectus, which would be more specific to the current state of the company at that precise time. So it is in no way a document representing a full commitment to a $75 million financing. That is essentially the maximum that we would be allowed to finance utilizing that particular document within that 25-year period. Candidly, there is
25 months.
25 months, sorry. Candidly, there is no plan whatsoever that exists today to spend anywhere near that kind of money over the next 25 months.
Now, previous financings that you've done, they were not through a shelf prospectus, right?
No, the first one this is the first prospectus that the company has done since its initial IPO in 2008.
Is this because now you have a banking relationship? Why are you going this route?
To encourage institutional investment, yes. It's generally a requirement of the institutional marketplace.
And so how does this kind of financing compare to just a regular private placement? A regular private placement is, people fill out the documents. They are restricted for 4 to 12 months, depending on where they live. What kind of process is this?
Prospectus financings don't have timeline, hold period requirements. When the financings are completed, the stock is free trading at that moment.
Okay, but now people that participate in shelf prospectus financing, okay, so their shares are tradable right away. Do they also get like a half a warrant or anything like this?
It depends on the terms of the financing that is negotiated at that point in time. And that would be part of what's disclosed in the supplemental prospectus that would be necessary to accompany that particular financing.
Okay, so going back to the fear that some people might have looking at this press release, oh, the stock price is at this level, they're going to dilute us to death. What would you say to this?
I think I'd simply say this, that as far as I know, and I'm quite sure about this, I'm still the largest shareholder in this company by quite some distance. And I can just say with absolute authority and certainty that there will be no circumstance of unwarranted, unnecessary, or early term dilution that will occur over the next 25 months. Most certainly as it relates to this prospectus offering. It's just not going to happen. What we're trying to do is regenerate market support for the company such that we can regain some of the confidence that we had in previous years as to our direction, our commitment to maintaining that direction, and the significant outcomes that we expect to realize from that activity. The bottom line is, at no point will the math associated with the dilution influences that may come into play or that will come into play will be forgotten, lost, or in any way discounted. In other words, dilution and our intention to avoid dilution is always at the forefront of our financing activity.
Okay, so that's all I wanted to ask you. Just put some color on this press release.
Yeah, it just this prospectus just provides a platform from which we can now essentially solicit financing from the institutional investors that have expressed an interest in participating in financings of Oroco in the past, but have also stated very clearly that for them to participate in a substantial way, other than encouraging clients, et cetera, to participate individually, but for them to participate substantially, they required a prospectus being available for disclosure to their clients.
Okay. Now, I wanted to make it quick because we will have another interview, hopefully, in a week or two when there's more things to talk about. But do you want to say anything else before we finish? Not so much about the prospectus, but maybe, after the visit from the Mexican politicians, is there anything else you would like to share, or maybe you want to wait for another interview in 2 weeks or so?
Yeah, I'd prefer to wait because there are quite a number of things going on in the company right now that truly do need to crystallize, and I just don't feel that the timing is right to be discussing these things that are actually in progress. But I can say this, that in a very short time frame, I expect a significant announcement that I think will be very favorable with respect to the prospects for the company going forward, and yet we just can't discuss them openly as yet.
Okay, fair enough. Well, thank you for doing this.
Oh, you're welcome, always.